Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wednesday's Market Situation Report, or SITREP, here at Top Gun Options. What a good morning it is. I just sent an order to close and got filled 50 of Friday's 294 SPY calls. Check this out, folks. In one day, made $2,500, a little over $2,500. It was like $2,550 I got closed at. Essentially a 50% gain in those calls in a day. And take a look at the bull put spread. We're at $1,400 right now. So absolutely insane one-day trades. Look at that. There it is right now, up 35% in a day. $1,400, and these expire 1,500, 16, 18. Holy crap! Look at that. Look at the S&P 500 running away from me right now. Almost, what's that? It's $4,000, folks, in two trades in a day. That's an entire year of a Full Throttle Max membership. Hell, that's half the annual fee for coaching. A year of coaching in one day on these calls. Look at this, up almost $1,600, man. That's $4,100 in profit in one day. So I would close those calls anytime I make 50% in a day. I'm going to close those, and I'm probably going to close this if the S&P keeps going. I'm probably going to close this at when it hits 50%, folks. Why? Remember, we put these on yesterday in our primary live trade brief for Friday for the Fed, right? I believe that Jay Powell was going to say some really calming stuff, but look at what happened today. Retail earnings, ladies and gentlemen. What recession, Ms. Pocahontas Sanders, or Democrats, or MSNBC, or CNN? All the Democrats and liberal media folks are trying to talk us into a recession. What did Tarjay and a bunch of other folks to say today? Suck it, Democrats. The consumer ain't in a recession right now. So you guys keep trying to talk us down and talk us into a recession, and we'll keep printing money here at Top Gun Options. Nice try, folks. It's not going to happen. Wow. What an absolute epic morning. All right, so let's get to it. What's going on here? Real quick, well, the president, like I say almost every day, if it's a day that ends in Y, the president's ripping apart the Fed chief. Doing great with China and other trade deals. The only problem we have is Jay Powell and the Fed. He's like a golfer who can't putt, has no touch. Big U.S. growth if he does the right thing, big cut, but don't count on him. So far, he has called it wrong and only let us down. We are competing with many countries that have far lower interest rates, and we should be lower than them. Yesterday, the highest dollar in U.S. history, and no inflation. Wake up, Federal Reserve. Such growth potential, almost like never before. Everybody see what happened in Germany overnight? Negative yields. Huge negative yields, folks. It is a race to the bottom, and the president, for all the wrong reasons, is absolutely right here. What an absolute nuttiness going on. So one of the reasons we put on that the bull put spread yesterday on the S&P 500 after Friday and bought those calls was what? Jay Powell on Friday saying soothing words to the markets, and he's going to take care of us. The retail sales numbers today will make him look like an idiot if he says that on Friday. Last week, folks, retail numbers, the manufacturing, Philly Fed, you name it. Just about all of the macroeconomic data lately have been what? Fantastic. Earnings, jobs, GDP, you name it. What's Jay Powell going to do? I'm telling you, folks, I think this is going to be that's why I want to get out of these right now, man. Hopefully everybody's in these, made $1,500, $1,600 and $2,500. Hopefully you're $4,100 richer in one day because of what we did yesterday, but I'd get out of them. Why? Because I think this is exactly what's going to happen right here. Jay Powell did what? A month ago, he sat in front of the House and Senate and said what the Fed was going to do, and then when I said, and this rally was baked in. So at the actual Fed meeting, what did I say? I got bearish. I said the dude can only let us down. Buy on the rumor, sell on the news. So if we're going to pop today and tomorrow going into the Fed meeting, and Jerome's nice to us at 10 o'clock, at 10:01, Friday morning, and he's nice to us, the market's going to pop, and then it's going to drop. Folks, if you remember my commentary around the last Fed meeting when he cut rates, he looked lost. He was searching for reasons to tell us why he cut rates after he just told us everything's great. And the retail numbers today, folks, why are we cutting rates? I think we should be raising rates, but that's another discussion. So why am I rambling about this? Because I'd get out of these two bullish trades now. I was going to be in these till Friday because, wow, look at that, $1,700. I was going to be in these until Friday, and then out of him Friday morning when the market pops on him being nice. Those are going to be the algos, folks. When Jerome Powell talks Friday morning and is nice, those are algos driving us higher. Then when the pilot turns off the autopilot and takes control of the aircraft, we're going to look around and go, dude, why is he cutting rates? Is he seeing stuff that is he lying? Is he saying things are great, but I need to cut rates? Obviously, the last time he said what? Everything's great, but I'm just worried about trade. Well, what did Trump do last week? He caved on trade. So what's Powell going to do? He booted until December. No tariffs going in. Well, there are some, but guess what's happening? So the president caves on trade last week with China, and then guess what China does? They laugh at him publicly, and then they say, well, screw you. You left a couple on. We're going to hit you back on September 1st. So this is really, really interesting, folks. I'm going to take my $4,100, $4,200, grab some popcorn, and watch. Now I've already made my money on this week. All right, let's get strategic. We have to cover some stuff. Mystery airstrike rocks Baghdad base with U.S. forces present. Netanyahu hints Israel is active over Iraq. Ladies and gentlemen, Iraq the other day said, anybody who flies in our airspace, including the United States, without the Prime Minister's permission will be shot down. Israel, hold my beer. Here comes an Israeli F-35 flying wherever they want to because nobody can see them and blowing up Iranian crap in Iraq. I love the dude. Benjamin Netanyahu said what? Anywhere, Israel will continue to act militarily to curtail Iranian expansion in the region anywhere. Listen to this quote. Iran has no immunity anywhere. We will act, and currently are acting, hint, against them wherever it is necessary. So guess what, folks? The Iraqis said, even U.S. folks, you're welcome for your freedom. You can't fly over Iraq unless we tell you can. Israel, let's turn on a little bit of stealth mode. Let's go blow up all the Iranian weapons caches that are going to be used to kill Israelis. Love Israel, love Benjamin Netanyahu, but Democrats and liberals in this country don't. So if you're Jewish and you vote Democrat, you're retarded. Anyway, China is making arrangements on scenario of no deal. So the mouthpiece of the state-owned Chinese newspaper, the Global Times, said what? Global Times said China is making arrangements on the scenario of no deal, no trade deal at all, ever. Why? Because the deterrence of the U.S. not signing the deal on China is close to zero. Meaning what? The president the other day said, hey, man, if they go Tiananmen Square, if they cracked it, finally he got the balls 2, 3, 4, weeks later to say, hey, man, if he linked the trade deal to the democracy protesters in Hong Kong, finally. So the Chinese government said, okay, if that's the case, then we don't ever need a trade deal with you guys. And I believe them, folks. What are you going to do if you're undergoing economic pain in China? You're going to pick up the phone and call your congressman and complain? Yeah, good job. And you'll be marched out in a bayonet and sent to a gulag. So this is getting bad, ladies and gentlemen. So again, bearish on FXI. It's up, today with the overall market and everything's great, whiz and everything like that. So whatever, but no, this is trading, folks. FXI is going to go up, it's going to go down. But the fact that the Chinese government just said, hey, we're planning on no deal ever at all, is bad. So this is a little. I'm holding any bearish position on FXI, and I'd add to it today. This is bad. Obviously, you have to take your blinders off and don't look at your trading screen and go, hey, that trade's losing money right now. Look at when the market gets over this euphoria of the retail sales and looks at what's going on with the China stuff. It's getting worse, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't getting better. So I'd use this opportunity to sell in it. The other day, this is the headline in the Wall Street Journal. Trump's losing the trade war with China. And China's saying today, we're never going to get a deal if you're tying Hong Kong to it. That's all bad, folks. Remember, the market only cares when it cares. It might not be caring about this today or this morning with these great retail sales numbers. It will. Trust me, I've done this for a long time. And the other day, the president saying, hey, man, here's some F-16s, Taiwan, so you can, defend yourself against China. And by the way, we have a defense of China agreement, and if they come knocking on your door, Big Brother will be there for you. Not good, man. I told you earlier in the week that this peaceful march was a brilliant move from the protesters because now all those troops in Shenzhen are standing there like, wait, we were getting ready to go crack skulls. They couldn't. How can you go crack skulls when it was peaceful? 1.7 million people Half the population of New York City was on the streets. Oh, and by the way, I have a great shot of Portland, Oregon. People running around with Soviet flags in Venezuela and this and take your guns and everything like that. Hong Kong. People running around with American flags saying they want their own Bill of Rights and a Second Amendment. What fucking world are we living in where Americans are running around wanting less freedom and to be oppressed and to give up the right to defend themselves against tyranny, and people overseas are wanting to be us? I'd swap these. Hey, Portland folks get out, go live in Hong Kong, and we'll take the hardworking people of Hong Kong. You're not Americans. Beat it. So Democrats, liberals today trying to talk us into a recession so Trump can lose. Bill Maher, the human piece of feces, I think I saw him laying on the street in San Francisco, actually saying he wants Americans to hurt. He wants you to lose your job. He wants you to be living on ramen noodles and your family, and he wants you to just boil in hate and lose your job and the economy to slow and a recession. Why? So you vote against Trump. There's people who call themselves Americans actually rooting against you. They want you to go through pain, ladies and gentlemen. What? But this guy, at least, this is the New York Times. I'm shocked this guy's still alive. Said our irrational anxiety about slowing growth. It ain't true, folks. But you can be talked into a recession, right? You hear it from Pocahontas long enough that everything's awful in this country. You start believing it. You stop going out to dinner. You start saving and all, oh, geez, and you tell your neighbors. It can be a downward spiral. It's not going to happen. People like me are smart enough to talk to people like you, and you're smart enough to be listening to this to know that this is a ration of shit from liberals and Democrats. They hate America. Open borders. It is. It's the dog whistle heard round the world. Markets sink on recession signal. Great article about how what the reality is behind all of this, and this, the curves inverting last week. The last 3 times they've done that, we've been in a recession 18 to 22 months later. Stop looking at the left side of a chart, folks. If you have a broker that lets you trade off the left side of a chart, let me know who it is because they're stupid. Your broker's an idiot if they're letting you can't. So the last 3 times those indicators were correct ain't today. So enough bringing that up. It's stupid. It makes no sense to compare ourselves to where we were in the past. Be present. This is a little worrying to me. Slowing share buybacks. The number one buyer of the S&P 500 for the past 2 years has been who? The S&P 500. Now with those buybacks slowing, that has been a pretty rock solid pillar of the stock market. But if we got Jerome Powell, who's just getting beaten into a corner right now by the market and the president, I think the Fed's going to take over this. If the Fed starts doing QE, companies don't need to buy back their stock, right? So it is slowing, right? Here we've reached a peak here of companies buying back their shares, and now it's tailing off here. But why do you need to buy back your shares if the Fed's going to start giving us a full basis point cut or doing QE? But look at this. This is what's funny. So the last Fed meeting, I told you, there was dudes and ladies sitting there going, dude, why are you cutting? So if you looked at the minutes yesterday, what did they say? Why are we cutting? We need to be data dependent. And he came out and said the words data dependent, and the market freaked the hell out. It's going to be, so you have to get up or be up or whatever you're doing Friday morning. You have to take a smoke break or whatever, man, and watch the Jackson Hole speech at 10 a.m. Because this Fed chief is wedged between that's a lie, a slowing economy and angry. It's wedged between a market and an angry president. The economy is not slowing, folks. And if it is, it's slowing from max afterburner, supersonic, to military power and subsonic. Oh, and we're going to complain about it? If we had this economy in the middle of Barack Hussein Obama's presidency, liberals would have been screaming from the rooftops. It was a Jimmy Carter, let's all wear a sweater in Malays stock market and economy. It was ridiculous. So a lot of good stuff going on. Traders betting on falling volatility on a day like today where vol's getting smashed. I would be getting long, absolutely getting long volatility. This is when you do it, folks. And you know what? I'm going to get out of this this bull put spread now. I'm going to try. Let's at least throw an order in there for about like $1.15 to see if it gets up here. That would be a $1,725 gain in a day. Why? Because I'm going to the gym right now, and I'm going to put $4,300 in my pocket if we get filled on that. But this is true. Don't bet on the president rescuing the stock market. His jawboning isn't driving us higher. As a matter of fact, he's weighing what? Indexing capital gains taxes to inflation or a payroll measure tax cut. So he's pounding Jerome Powell to do something, and he's going to do stuff on his own. So whether you agree or not, this thing is going to give us an afterburner pop into these markets. I just don't want it to peak too early before the election comes, because then we are going to have Democrats doing the woe is me. We hate America. We hate gun owners. We hate law-abiding citizens. We love illegal immigrants. We hate veterans. And we're in a recession. They beat those. They're Goebbels, right? They're Nazis in their propaganda machine, folks. They literally are. A lie repeated often enough becomes true. So if they keep going, and CNN and MSNBC and all the shit stream media keeps this narrative up, who knows, man? But the president and Powell and everything like that, man, this is awesome. We're having an absolute blast. And remember, folks, men lie, numbers don't. Great 25, whatever it was, $2,600. It calls. We just bought some SPY calls yesterday, and then this, there it is. There's almost $1,600 I'm going to get out of this in a day. $4,100, folks, in one day here at Top Gun Options. That just paid for several years of your Top Gun Options membership. There you go, $1,650. I'm going to the gym. And then I'll see just about everybody who's in accelerated retirement today at 1 o'clock. Going to be a big one. No Analyze Your Trade tomorrow. Flying up to Vermont tomorrow with Matthew, taking him back to Norwich University, the Military College of Vermont. And then Friday morning, I'm going to be up in Vermont somewhere on campus watching Jerome Powell and the Jackson Hole speech. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be epic. Having a great time. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you at 1 o'clock. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. We'll see you.